Hello everyone, welcome to another video. I know it's been a bit of a while, but we have some Warcraft Rumble news, which is more information on the new mini that is coming in just a few days with the new season. It is the Chimaera. So let's take a look at the trailer before we dive into any details. Let's take it away. Okay, coming for season 2. It looks very cool. It's gonna cost 5. Okay, I mean, it looks strong, but it's beating up weak minis, so, oh, okay. Gameplay definitely make it beat up swarms of little dudes. December 10th, that is only 3 days away from the recording of this video, of course. This is really, really interesting. Let me just get to... hang on. Yeah, this is kind of interesting, honestly, because here we go. So, the Chimaera, I believe, is going to be a beast. Yeah, it's got the tag. We can see it, actually. I don't know what I'm talking about. It's going to cost 5, and it's flying. And it seems like each head, one does like chain lightning effect, and one does an AoE poison, like, bleh, sort of thing. So, it's looking pretty good, actually. I've seen this trailer a couple of times, as in like just now, and I think I sort of glanced at it before I made the video, obviously. But it looks pretty strong, honestly. Like it's tough because in the current world we live in, especially in PvP, can you play a 5 cost, right? And how good is that in the current sort of low cost cycle meta? I don't know like how strong it will be, but there's a couple of factors here where the big factor is we're getting new maps, right? We're going to be playing on at least, I'm not sure whether they're doing it for season 2 or 3, whether they're doing multiple maps, but we are at minimum going to be changed, I think, to Arathi Basin for this next season at minimum. So the map will change. So there's a lot going to be up in the air in terms of PvP there. But for me, I think this mini actually looks very strong for a 5 cost. It might even be on par with the Huntress in overall strength, because without even looking at the talents, it's flying, which is good. I sort of liken it to Drake, right? Drake is a really good mini, 4 cost. Obviously, it's a whole gold cheaper, which is a big deal. But it's flying, and it seems to alternate attacks between a chain lightning, which I assume is elemental, and a poison sort of splodge AoE. And these things can be very strong. One, it can not only take on ground units, but it can also it can not only take on ground sort of tanky units like the footman or just like any sort of tanks with the poison, but it can also deal with swarms as well. Now I will just keep playing this just for a second, see some gameplay, because the poison, yeah, okay, I think we saw it there. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't like the poison hits ground and the lightning hits air, but I think this does. Yeah, just there you see it attack lightning. So it looks like the lightning at least can hit air. Now, does it show us the poison hitting air at any point? Because the poison very much feels like a ground-based attack. Let me see earlier on if it shows it. So that's versus that. Poison on the floor again. Okay, so it looks like the poison probably can't attack flying, which is fine. The lightning version does plenty by the looks of things. And now looking at the talents, Leviathan gain 10% additional health per deploy. This is going to be tricky to judge because I don't know how much health the Chimaera has naturally, because that'll be a big factor, right? If it gets like one-tapped by Tazdingo, then 10% health, it could be okay. And I think the key factor for this talent is, does playing it the second time make it live like a whole extra attack, or need a whole extra attack from XYZ sort of minis, right? That's the key things. Of the things you're scared of, let's say Huntress, Murlocs, Tazdingo, what else, like Griffin, I guess. Out of those things, does even just deploying this one extra time with Leviathan make it need one extra attack for it to die, which means it can probably get one more attack off, because that's what Rumble is really about and what's important. It's less how much actual HP something has, and it's more how many attacks can it take from certain minis, especially the popular ones in the meta right now. So Leviathan does look pretty interesting. How many times do you typically play a 5-drop? Depending on your build, it could get extra health. And what's interesting is is that 10% additional health base, or will that keep stacking? So you have 100% health, then sort of the 110%, but then will that then just be 10% added of that 110%, sorry, like additive versus multiplicative, right? So that'll be kind of interesting, but at surface level, if playing this one, like the second, maybe the third time is good enough for it to feel tanky and survive more hits, maybe it's going to be good. The next one is Frost Shock. Lightning Ball applies frost on hit. This is probably not that important. I can't think of anything that you're that bothered about, because unless you're air only fighting something like exactly Footman, then there's not that many ground minis. I guess a lot of the leaders, like you look at Tyrion, Rend on the floor, Grom, those sort of minis do benefit from being slowed. Drakasath definitely. But in general, it's probably not good enough, because I feel like the lightning's very much for clearing out packs, so you don't really care if they're slowed down. It does depend on how much damage the lightning does, because if it doesn't kill a lot of things in one shot, maybe the slow helps. But in general, Frost Shock isn't blowing me away. Oh, did I miss the next one? Sorry, guys. Let me see if it... Will it show the next one? Oh, here we go. Corrosive Breath. Poison Spit inflicts twice as much poison. Okay. So I think this will be pretty straightforward here. If you see a tanky meta where they're the likes of Footman, maybe we get a bounce patch, so cards like Abomination, cards minis, you know what I mean, like Abomination, Earth Elemental, stuff like that, any tanky units, if they become popular, then Corrosive Breath will probably be correct. And I think if they are not popular, kind of like they're not now, there's only, what really, Quillbore plus leaders that poison really kicks out. I guess you can argue towers take damage from poison, so maybe that's a thing. But in general, I think Corrosive Breath will be good if there's any form of strong tanks relevant in the meta, and if not, I actually do like the look of where is it? Leviathan, because 10% is a lot. Like I said, all you need in this game is for your mini to survive like one extra hit than it would normally, and you're getting so much more value from it. And you are probably going to, if you're going to play Chimaera in your deck, it's similar to Huntress, right? If you put Huntress in your deck, you are going to play it. It's not like a tech card or a tech mini, right? Like you will want to play it. If the meta's similar, and you're choosing to put something at the cost 5 in the deck, it's because you really want to play it. So I imagine you'll get, 4 to maybe 5 plays of this on average, maybe throughout your average game, depending. This is me just guessing, of course. Even if you say 30% more health is significant, and also that consistent health bump. Like I said, it'll very much depend what's in the meta and how many hits it can take from its key sort of the things that prey on this type of mini. Like I said, maybe Taz Dingo, Griffin with range, and so on. How many hits will they be able to take? That's the key thing. But overall, I'm actually pretty excited for this. It's a beast, so that opens up some interesting options. This just looks great, just dunking AoE. And we've all had those moments where you get like a Drake into that position where it can just eat melee units and nothing can really stop it, and that feels really good. Well, in that scenario, this feels like a Drake on steroids, right? Because it's doing poison, lightning AoE, poison, lightning, really just chucking all that damage out, so that's looking really good. It's probably weak to air units like Griffin, maybe, depending on how much this lightning attack does, because it'll... It doesn't look like it'll be able to spit the poison at air units, which again is fine. But overall, I'm liking this a lot. I'm looking forward to trying this out. Not only is it like the first mini we get from launch, but it looks like an exciting one, like an alternate ranged unit. And I really just hope that, like, we don't have to... We could talk about this a lot longer, but the worry I have personally is the first new mini they're bringing out in the game... yeah, since its launch, I guess, because Sylvanas was kind of out anyway. But the first new mini they're bringing in is a 5-cost flying mini. And it's like, well, is that going to be good enough to stand up against the mass lot of cheap cycle unbound spam that's been the meta for far too long at this point? Or is there going to be balance? Who knows with the patch? Either way, I'm excited for 10th of December to check out not only the Chimaera, but also the new map and any other changes or, you know, additions that may happen with that patch. So yeah, those are my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think. If you have any good ideas of any specific decks or what you think you may be going to replace Chimaera in your deck with. Is it going to be replacing Drake? Is it going to, you know, start beefing up the deck so it becomes more expensive? Let me know, guys. I appreciate you watching. Hope you had a good time, and I will see you next time.